Greetings, fellow noobs. I am the Pulse Panda, and today is episode 10 of StarCraft as a noob. Now, before I get started, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First off, this is episode 10. Honestly, I didn't think I'd get this far. I know, that's my own self-confidence there for you, but that's pretty exciting, episode 10. That means I've been doing YouTube videos consistently for 10 weeks now, so that's like, what, 3 months-ish? Sure, let's just pretend, because math. So that's pretty exciting. Second, I hit 80 subscribers. I never thought I'd actually hit 80 subscribers. When I started out, I was kind of going for the goal of 20, 30, you know, making a slight dent on the population of the StarCraft 2 community. However, it looks like I'm going to be able to do more than that. I'm going to actually become a YouTuber. So, that's super cool. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. But the reason I bring this up is because I want to celebrate it in a way. I'm pretty excited about that. We've already passed the 1 year mark, but honestly I don't count most of the build order tutorial videos as 1 year because there were huge gaps in there. So to celebrate, I have a $10 Steam gift card, and I'm going to be giving it away to one of you. So to enter this, you have to 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I mean, that just makes sense. 2, you have to follow me on Twitter. I will announce the winner on Twitter. I will also announce the winner in next week's SaaN video. And 3rd, you must apply for the giveaway at pulsepanda.com/contest. All these links will be in the description below. Don't worry about it. You can check it out after the video, whatever. Just fill out all that information. I'll do the drawing. All the rules are on that website page. And good luck. Now let's get into this. Today we are going to talk about Terran versus Terran basic strategy. I've basically covered everything else for being a noob. My last video was about practice. Apparently it was a huge hit. I gained about 20 subs just from that video. Again, thank you guys. If you guys are coming from Reddit, be sure to hit that like button as opposed to giving me the karma on Reddit. Or you can do both. I don't really care, but I'd prefer the like. So, in any mirror matchup, TvT, you know, whatever, ZVZ, PvP, is going to be pretty even. Obviously, if you're doing the same build and you each have just, say, the same exact skill level, you're going to be dead even. And it's going to be a really long, drawn-out game because you're going to be killing each other's armies pretty much the same rate. So, what you want to do in any mirror matchup, and I'm kind of going to focus on TvT because that's pretty much my race, and I'm going to start the replay here. This is just TvT. It's not a great example, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to watch. So what you want to do in any mirror matchup is basically, let's just follow the camera there, that way I don't have to do crap. You basically just want to get an advantage in any way you can. So that's why in TvT, specifically, there's a lot of Banshee openers. There's a lot of like tank drops and stuff, because you have to build around that type of aggression. So unless you know they're doing a Banshee opener or you guess that they're doing one, you're not going to have as great of resources to defend, and it gives you a decent advantage. As you'll see, the enemy Terran here does a much better play than me. Let's also ignore the mistakes being done in this game because I was just kind of derping around and I don't honestly care, and it's just a fun example. So you need to not let yourself fall behind. You need to get small advantages, such as doing a Banshee rush like I already talked about. So obviously there's different ways of doing this, and there are ways to like do Thor drops. I've lost to a Thor drop when I first started playing. It was painful and annoying. So there's that sort of thing. There's Banshee rushes, there's Widowmine drops. The build I'm specifically doing is a Widowmine drop into a Banshee, so I kind of expend all their scans off the bat with those Widowmines, or do some worker damage. Honestly, it doesn't matter, and then I have a Banshee to just kind of troll them, because there's no way they're going to have enough scans for that for a while. So unless they pull up a turret, which comes into getting the advantage. If they're wasting the resources to get a turret, well, not really wasting, but it can put them behind if it's done poorly. So let's talk about some of the units in these matchups. It's commonly known that TvT, tanks are usually pretty good because tanks are good against bio, but not swarms of bio. So tanks are usually pretty good against like Zerglings, some roaches, that sort of thing, and you just kind of hold them behind. They're great defensive, but they're also pretty good offensive if you can get it pulled up. And why do you want to use a tank as opposed to a Widowmine? Mostly because Terran can just scan the Widowmines, stim their Marines, detonate all the Widowmines with 1 or 2 Marines, and then they can just mow them down with the stimmed army. I mean, that's pretty much it. The siege tanks are way better at holding off against big pushes and all that stuff. So let's talk about what you want to look for when you're scouting. So I saw that the Terran's up here, right? And with my SCB, I saw that he has 1 gas. And I saw that he's expanding right now. And I saw that he has this barracks and a supply depot. I never saw another supply depot, which is fine, because he doesn't have another supply depot. And honestly, supply depots as Terran don't really matter a whole lot. So, why is my SCV just kind of chilling at this barracks and it will be attacking it? Well, that's because he took the gas at the same time as he took the barracks. It's kind of like how I did. I have the gas in the barracks. But I haven't expanded. But instead I'm getting a factory. But he has expanded, meaning there's not really any threat for a while of aggression. Because if he expanded, you know, he's kind of working on getting a second base up, as opposed to getting factories, tons of barracks, and just pushing me with a giant all-in. So I'm kind of just hanging around the barracks to see what he's gonna do. I'm hoping for a Reaper. If he gets a Reaper, yeah, he can harass me a little bit, but it means that he's not gonna be doing something stupid. If he gets a Marine or 2 Marines, that means he's saving his gas, and he can still go into like a Banshee, although it won't be as effective as this. This is going to be sooner, but if he's saving his gas, he can do something a little more, you know, tech-related. Let's just continue this replay here. Other things you want to do, if you see that he has a barracks and a refinery, and he's getting a factory, that's pretty much just a 1-1-1 build. And, I mean, like I'm doing a 1-1-1. So I would get an engineering bay and a turret, because odds are pretty good he's at least going to hit you with a Banshee, if not some Widowmines. I would also try and get some scouting around the map, see what else he's doing. So obviously some certain units are bad and good in each matchup. That's why the Widowmines aren't really used as much, because, I mean, they're good for early game, but that about sums it up. Reapers, you know, as you can see, they can cause some annoying harassment, and they're usually a pretty decent way to open. Banshees are also pretty good, because they force out scans. Basically, you're trying to get the Terran to use his energy on anything but mules. At least in some parts of the game. So, other things that are good in this matchup, I mean, obviously there's a whole lot depending. Usually Vikings aren't really used a whole lot, because most Terrans go, they go bio. And Vikings aren't really good against bio. Sometimes you can get like 2 Vikings or something and put a Viking like here and a Viking here, you know, just to stop some pushes or some drops and whatnot. But I mean, it's not as common, so it's not a huge deal if you don't get Vikings. They're usually just kind of used to just defend drops and whatever. Ravens are usually pretty decent. It depends on what the enemy's getting again. But if they like to go with some Widowmines, you know, getting a Raven could be useful. If they like to go with a lot of tanks, actually Ravens are fantastic. Get a couple of Ravens, use your tracking missiles, and you're going to take down an entire line of tanks, and they're going to have absolutely no way to do anything about it, because unsieging a tank and running it away isn't fast enough to defend it. So when do you want to get certain things? Usually by mid-game you want to have, you know, some medevacs, maybe 4 or so. You want your Marines and Marauders, you want your stim pack, you want your combat shields, and you want your 1-1 upgrades. Although the 1-1 upgrades are less important than the rest. It depends on the build you chose to do. So what you don't want to do, when you play TvT, you want to just kind of bouncing around the map, because players like to get siege tanks to defend. So they'll play siege tanks here or here, you know, up here maybe. A little bit back here, have some bunkers, some, you know, supply depots to stop them, so the siege tanks can just tear apart your army. Sometimes they'll put a siege tank up here, although it's a little more risky. And actually, sometimes it can work out really well, because they won't see it, so they're pushing here, and your siege tank is just bombarding the heck out of them. And that's, you know, really annoying to deal with. So what you want to avoid is just straight pushing into their base. So like up here, I'm doing a drop, just kind of fanning out. I abandoned my Marines because I'm a mean person. And I killed a couple SCVs. I wish I had killed those 3, but whatever. But what you want to do is you kind of want to bounce them around the map. So having your medevacs, having maybe 8 or 10 medevacs, and just doing pronged attacks can usually work well. So for example, if I were to take, let's just pretend this is mid-game. If I were to take several medevacs, and I were to drop 2 medevacs here, and just kind of focus on killing this command center, and then take off, just run away, just get the command center and run. And then I were to come up here and kill this engineering bay, that would work out pretty well. Or if I come up here and drop like right here and kill this barracks, that would also be pretty awesome. So I mean, you don't want to just, because he can have a siege tank here, he can have a siege tank here, he can have a siege tank here, or right here. You know, it's kind of dangerous to push up this ramp because it's pretty easily defendable, especially since he did a wall here. That makes it way worse. So you want to be kind of nimble with your army, especially if you're going bio. If you're going mech, obviously this is different. You want to push slowly, you want to push casually, and you want to push hard. But with bio, you don't want to just get into a siege battle, because I've done that and you lose 90% of the time. And it's dangerous and bad, and no one wants that to happen. So one thing you don't want to get in this matchup is battle cruisers. There are very, very, very few exceptions to this rule. If you're doing a battle cruiser rush, which are brutal, by the way, you just take you make a battle cruiser, you only make a battle cruiser, you take like 5 or 6 SCVs, and you walk your way across the map and blow the heck out of the army with a battle cruiser. But unless you're doing that, you really don't want a battle cruiser. There's not really many situations where you can get benefit out of a battle cruiser, because the only time you would actually be able to effectively use it is against, you know, with the Yamada cannon. But that's what it can do, the same thing as the Ravens. If you're using it to take out tanks, the Raven can do the same thing, you know? So there's not really many reasons to get a battle cruiser. They're also really painfully countered by Widow Mines. Like, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, and it's just not really a good thing to do. Another thing you don't really usually want to do is get more than 1 or 2 Banshees, because the Banshee's use is to pull the scans early game. So if you're getting a couple Banshees, then you don't really need to, you know? Like, if you get more, then he's already gonna have the energy to scan, and it's just not gonna end well for you. But if you decide, you know, let's get a couple, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, and you know, you pull out a couple scans, well, then good for you. But if you don't, like this one, actually I wasn't paying attention to this at all, because I was focusing on that attack. But, you know, I forced 2 turrets, so, you know, that's 150 resources that he could have used to build another barracks. So, I mean, that was pretty good. Another thing you want to do with your Banshee, by the way, is kind of scout. I mean, I see that there's a tech lab here, but I don't even know what's on it. Like, it's a barracks, but I don't know that, you know? So that's kind of an important thing. Another thing you don't really want to get a whole lot of are Thors. I know it's a common thing for lower league players to go, hey, let's get lots of Thors. They're big and tanky and hit strong. Well, yes, they are big and tanky and hit strong, but they're not really useful against Terran, because the Terran, it's the same reason you wouldn't get a whole lot of Thors against a big Zergling push, because the Terran can just tear apart those Thors with their Stim Marines or with their Stim Marauders, just like how a swarm of Zerglings would be able to tear apart your entire Thor army just because they're Zerglings, you know? So this drop is brutal. It's very good, and that is my point. He's doing drops, and that was a really good drop. I was not prepared for that at all. And he sieged up his tank, and I can't get anywhere further than here. Well, I'm not supposed to. He's targeting my stim pack, which was rude as heck. But that's, you know, smart. But the siege tank's a really good idea, because it prevents all mining, and that's a great spot, because I have to work through the minerals, so I have to go like through here, or I have to go like through here, so I'm funneled. And targeting down the stim pack, while rude, is also really smart, because that way, if it's about to be up, he doesn't know how long it has. So in his situation, it was not necessary at all. But if it was about to finish and you kill it, well, now my 6 Marines don't have stim. But my point is, he's dropping. He didn't push up here. He didn't siege up like right here, because he knows that I could very easily just kill him. So he's dropping my base, trying to get the advantage of the workers, because, I mean, we're pretty close to even, you know? Like right now I've killed 12 workers of his with my Widow Mines and Banshee. He's killed 10 workers of mine with his tank and Reaper. So, I mean, it makes a huge difference. And, oh, and when he killed these workers down here with his push. So you want to get those little advantages. I've killed more workers. He's killed barely more units, but we're pretty even because we're both doing, you know, damage. And he actually wins this game because of that drop. So I hope that helped out. This is a little bit weirder of a thing to do. Also, I am planning on slowing down the StarCraft as a Noob series and dispersing them with replay analysis, with more build order tutorials. I actually believe I have a partner to work on those with, and that would be great. And I plan on alternating when I do each video, because I've gotten the point of StarCraft as a Noob down. I'm pretty pleased with it. I do want it to continue, but I want it to continue slower. So that's kind of my goal. I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I feed off your subscriptions. Also, don't forget about that $10 Steam card giveaway. I will be doing that. All the details are on pulsepanda.com/contest. So, yeah, that's about all I have. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.